back to Pima Voices. I'm Savannah, and today we are exploring cybersecurity with Will McCullen, who is the Program Manager of IT and Cybersecurity at Pima Community College. Hi, Will. How are you today?
Oh, moderately, Nito. How are you doing?
I love that that's like your tagline every time someone says hi to you. It's perfect, and I feel like that represents you 100%. So, you have a lot to discuss today, don't we?
Oh, heck yeah. The IT Center of Excellence is a really awesome place and a lot of
Yeah.
things taking place.
I know I'm like not biased, but I love your guys' program and the people there. Your whole team are so great, and I think you guys have such a fun and unique environment that maybe a lot of people don't know about. So I'm totally excited to explore the cyber range and everything you have to discuss today. So what should we get started with first? What is topic?
Well, let me just kind of give you an overview
Mm-hmm.
because I know we've got a lot of folks here who may not have heard about our Center of Excellence or what's up. So I used to be the Director of Cybersecurity and Networks for the college. And Chris Bonhorst, who's the Academic Director, used to be the Director over all the systems of the college. And then we got this incredible dean, awesome, in Jim Craig. And when Chris and I were working in the operational side of IT for the college, we were trying to hire a Linux admin. And that was really difficult because nobody had experience. We couldn't hire from our own students, which we thought was a really bad thing. But we couldn't hire from other colleges as well, or from the universities. Because one of the things that is across this country in teaching IT in higher ed is that they tend to teach in theory, but not in practice. Mm-hmm. And so you'll have, when folks try to get a job in IT, there's a lot of open IT positions, but the very first question they ask is, how much experience do you have? So we thought, okay, how can we help this? How can we crack this nut? So in 2019, I came over and we teamed up with an incredible organization called the National Cyber Warfare Foundation. They have the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range. And we built the IT Center of Excellence, which is all about hands-on experience. Great. What does that mean? Well, when you get into IT, the complexity isn't tremendous. And so what we did is replicate the entire enterprise class system in our Center of Excellence. It's completely separated from the rest of the college. It has its own internet feed. And the beauty of that is that there's no private information to steal at all. And so the students can be in charge of the whole thing, everything from the firewalls to the switches to the servers. Well, now I'm getting off into geek stuff, right?
That's what's so much fun about cybersecurity, right? I mean, the geek stuff is the best stuff. So.
Well, I would not argue with that. But the advantage of that is that across this country, one of the big ways to try to counteract that is with interns. Well, you can't let interns into your main system, right? You can't let them work on the production equipment that might take the whole company down. So across this country, you have interns that are not really able to work on the systems that they really need to get experience in. So in the IT Center of Excellence, what we did is we developed that entire environment. So we have a student-run data center. They handle the whole thing. In our class curriculum, right? You can go, if you take a class on Linux or on Windows through a web browser, you can get into your workstation. We've got about 1,000 of those running in virtualization, and we don't manage it. The students do. We have classrooms with all of our computers set up. We don't manage them. The students do. So when you do that in the Center for Excellence, that's all business best practices. How to do things right, how to do things well. Then we have attached to that is the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range. And in the cyber warfare range, it's a completely different strategy.
Yeah, I was about to say this is probably the best part about your guys' program. When I first heard about it, I was like, "What? This is real?" Like on a community college campus, it like blew my mind. And I think
Absolutely.
this is like the coolest thing you guys have, which I think is amazing. Especially like you said, it's all hands-on, it's all there for experience. They can learn what to do right, they can learn what they can do wrong. But yes, please tell us more about it because I love it. I'm all excited, but I know everyone else will be once they hear how great the warfare range is.
Well, the warfare range, because it's not Pima specifically, right? Pima provides the environment, they provide the room, they provide the power, all that kind of stuff. But the rest of it is controlled by the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range, which means that it's also free and open to the public. So anyone can come down and play in the range. And the range is a very unique, disruptive environment because anyone can come down and learn how to hack.
And I know you have a great story about this because I remember hearing a story that you had told me, or a group, and it was about a younger child. And I think that is an amazing story. Can you share that with us?
Oh,
So,
heck yeah.
because I think that shows a true understanding of the warfare range and how it is open to the public and how, you can take something of someone, no matter their age, how interested they are in cybersecurity, they can come to you guys and experience that and learn from it.
Absolutely. And the story that you're talking about, this was what we also hold in that environment are boot camps and things like that for K-12.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Arizona Cyber Initiative, and also Aaron Ball and his group with the Center for the Future of Arizona, provide that space to where we can hold those boot camps and have K-12 students in. Well, the student that we're talking about, he was in middle school, right? And we go through this exercise that is a standard exercise of a mock website and things like that. It's called the OWASP Juice Shop. And he turns to us and says, "Can I use Burp Suite?" And Burp Suite is a fairly unique tool. It's an advanced tool, which took us by surprise. And part of that exercise, because it's made to be a website that is hacked, part of that exercise is once he got administrative privileges, he started creating users and inserting JavaScript in between the names of the users. Now, if you're into tech at all, that's like, wow, really? But the incredible part of that is not just the complexity, but we have students across this nation that are being raised by the internet. They have an interest, they have a desire to explore this world, to explore this complexity. And that's wherein the danger lies, right? Mm-hmm. In Russia, they have cafes, hacking cafes, where you can hack anyone, just not Russia. In China, they raise hackers like our baseball leagues, right? Here in the States, we put people in jail.
Mm-hmm. You're also trying to change the narrative. Like cyber and hacking isn't what you think it might be. It's not a bad thing. It can be a great thing.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what a hacker is, mm-hmm. right? So hackers, going by the pure name, is that they are exploring systems and finding out how to make things work differently than they normally were meant to do. If you take that then and then break into systems, well, now you're not just a hacker, you're a criminal, right? So let's make that clear at the beginning. So when we're teaching hacking, we're teaching how to explore the system and how folks would break into it. And the thing that is unique and wonderful about this environment is that it's not just a virtual construct. It's not something that is prepared ahead of time. We've got live computers in there. It also has a data center in there where people can create environments and work with them. So now you can do stuff that you can't do in those other realms. You can do attacks that you can't do otherwise. That's the beauty of the cyber warfare range.
And I like how you say it's a disruptive learning environment. I think that's like a perfect way to describe it. You're still learning, but it's different. And so I think cyber kind of requires that different hands on learning. And like you mentioned earlier, when you get a job, they're like, oh, where's your experience? Which is the hardest part of ending, your college career, seeking a job. You're like, well, my experience was my learning experience, but it's never
Exactly.
enough. So you offer a unique opportunity for people to really actually get that experience, which I'm sure transitions well when they go to find a job.
Well, think about it. If you're a welder, right? Other disciplines have figured this out. If you're a welder, you kind of hope somebody's picked up a welder and drawn a bead, right? If you are in health profession, how comfortable would you feel going to a surgeon who's only taken online classes, right? There, in so many industries, you need to have actual practice. And so why haven't we done that with IT? And that's how we're trying to change that up and explore that, but also to make things practical and real, right? So we have two major missions in our IT Center of Excellence. One is that with our program, and when you put all this together, we can reach out to students across this town, to communities that may not have ever realized that they could get into a career that can be very profitable and rewarding, right? So our first is to reach out to all those folks and provide an opportunity to change people's lives. But then also with the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range, they are a unique skill set. They are professional hackers. And they also provide us with tools and utilities to help make a difference. So the second part of our mission is to help save this nation. It has to be practical. And we got to go beyond what's been happening in the standard higher ed world. We have to take it to building that community. And so with the element of the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range being open to the public, we have cyber professionals coming in from TEP, from Raytheon, IBM, all over, working on their skills. Well, you put that together with the students, now you have mentoring taking place, you have hiring taking place, and overall the community can start to develop and start to help each other out. One of the cool things of when you've been there, right? Remember when you walked in the front door?
Yes.
Up on the wall?
Yes. Leave your ego at the door.
That is our culture, right? I don't know what it is about this industry, right? It seems like in our industry, everyone feels that they need to hold their tail higher than everybody else, right? So we're like, let's get rid of that concept at the get-go because nobody can know it all in IT. It is far too complex. It is constantly changing. So let's toss that out to begin with. And everyone that walks into the range is both considered a teacher and a student, no matter who they are. So we're trying to blur the line between teacher and student and turn it into an environment to where we have a whole bunch of people trying to help each other out. As a result, what comes from that is a fantastic community, and it's starting to build. And that community, the students support one another. You can walk in and say, hey, has anyone ever pick a topic? And you'll have people starting to help each other out. You now have in an IT community, which let's face it, a lot of folks in IT can be on various levels in the spectrum, all sorts of things. They're at home there. That's a place where they can get support. Mm-hmm. And in that environment, they also police that environment and they take care of it because it's theirs. That's the secret.
That makes it so special. If you really think about it, being able to find your community is really important.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. And I think that says a lot about your guys' warfare range is, you're open to the community, open to public. Anyone can come in, no matter your level of expertise in IT. And that's just it's mind-blowing, and it's such a great thing that you guys offer within our community that it really is truly special. And I know this has also captured the attention of people nationally. You guys had a very
That's true.
special visitor recently.
We've had numerous special visitors. We've had sessions. So things are going on all the time there. Everything from capture the flags to um, learning sessions to things of that sort, right? But we've also had sessions where we've had some world class hackers coming through, folks like Chris Roberts. Um, and with all that, they come on their own dime because of what's happening in that environment. As this has been growing, we have also reached out and we're starting to work with the U of A, with Paul Wagner and CAST, and with Ryan Murray, who's the CIO and Director of Homeland Security for the state of Arizona, to where we're starting to work to protect this area. That attention, and with what we're trying to do across the board, not just Pima, but U of A and the state and the local businesses and the industry environment, captured the attention where Director Coker, who is of the National Director of Cybersecurity for the White House, came by and to check out our digs and see what we're doing. And man, he reacted very positively. I think we've got it posted on Pima.
Yes. Hmm.
Um, he had great compliments, and so they learned a lot and realized that we need to make this scale. Myself and Dean Craig were invited to a group with Phoenix where there were about 40 folks that represented major business throughout Arizona, and we met with Jen Easterly, who is the director of CISA, which is the cyber arm of the Department of Homeland Security for the nation.
Wow.
And we were the only community college there.
That truly says something. We always talk about how the college has evolved and there's so much more to offer now than there was 10 years ago. But to have people on like a national level visit your guys's, or I guess you visited with them, but to explore your warfare range and what you have to offer, I think speaks volumes.
Well, it's the collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of the messages that Jen Easterly brought up nationwide is that we are facing significant challenges in the cyber front, right? With the way that politics have been going across the world, the different events by our adversaries, things of that sort. As events grow, there's a high expectation that our adversaries will work hard to cause great disruption in this nation. We have not seen the likes of those types of attacks of what can take place. When you think about it, we're so reliant upon IT everywhere. Everything from when you drive down the street to items in your home. It could be refrigerators, could be almost anything. IoT could be cameras, to our food system, our supply chain, to our water, to our electric, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is very dependent upon IT. And if you've watched the news, I don't mean to be a downer, but if you watch the news, there's a lot of problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much of that comes out of basic elements not being done. We need to do something about that. It has reached a very high critical point. And so we have to turn this practical, folks. We can't do things the same way that they've been done across the nation. And that is what has me just absolutely excited that our efforts and what we've been doing here at Pima Community College is really leading the nation in being able to take that and turn it into practical and actually take part. We have students through the utilities that have come through the efforts of the cyber warfare range that have led to arrests and deportations. We are providing actionable intelligence.
Yeah, that speaks a
Very
lot.
few
Yeah.
others can do that.
And, like, taking that back to curriculum, I know you guys have your guys' classes fill up so fast. I'm like, there's always a wait list, and you guys and there's so many students wanting to explore cyber, which is great. And so I know you guys have different, certificates and programs, right, that people can
Correct.
get to achieve what they are seeking in the cyber world.
Correct. We have 3 different associate's degrees. So we have cyber, networking, programming. We also have certificates. So the program is built so that the very first couple of semesters in the program uh, can help to, we provide a certificate so that they can get basic jobs while they're still trying to get through the program. Because let's face it, we're a community college, right? And part of being community is that a lot of the folks that we are serving need jobs,
Mhm.
and they're working and coming to classes, right? And
And
so
isn't
we're aware of
IT
that.
a world where, there's always a demand for jobs as well, or is that incorrect?
There's a huge demand, but at the same time, it's hard to get a job. Why? The reason why is because of the need for experience, the need for having folks that actually know how to do.
Mhm, so I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing the pattern. So you need which is exactly why you guys offer the learning experience that you do, so people can get that
Correct.
hands-on learning experience.
And also create the networking environment,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
that the businesses can come and meet those people. So the students that really want to apply themselves, want to come down and be part and work in the data center, that want to be part of the range, the ones that come and work, they end up with really good jobs simply because so much in IT, it's not about how smart you are, it's about mileage. How much have you worked on and done? And it never changes. That's the hard part about IT. Once you get into IT, you gotta love it. And so if you're thinking about IT, come on down to the range, try it out. See if it is something that you like or don't like before you even spend a dime, right? You can come down and start to work on basic exercises or talk with people or do, right? And find out if it's something that you love.
Which is another great point. Like, you don't always get the opportunity as an
That's right.
individual to kind of explore without investing a lot into that idea that you want to explore. So you
Yeah.
literally offer a space where anyone can come in, explore, and see if they like it and see what the world is all about. That is unique in itself as well.
It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, I think it
Right?
does. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. Like, hello.
That's we've got to take it to the practical.
Mhm.
And it's been an incredible ride, right? I came over and with Jim Craig, and we brought over the range, and that was just before COVID, 2019. Since then, we have experienced regular growth. We've experienced like 63% growth.
Wow.
We have over 520 full-time student equivalents. That's a lot of folks.
Yeah.
We have gone right through our resources, right? um, but it just goes to show how much that is needed,
Mhm.
and it just keeps increasing because the hunger and the demand is there, and it's about to explode. I think because of the challenges and the demands that are coming against our adversaries.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
take a very different approach too. Let me throw this out for our listeners. When you're in cyber, you don't have the option to get angry anymore. Have you ever been on social media and had somebody come on who is just an absolute
Ding dong.
troll, right?
Yeah. Yes, I
So,
think we all
somebody
have.
that
Yeah.
everybody hates, right?
Mhm.
But then you have somebody else who comes in and puts that person in their place and does really great job, whatever, maybe throwing out the argument well, whatever. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe they're one and the same person?
Oh, all the time. That's a great, like, I think of that in a marketing standpoint, though, about how, you can have one person trolling something and then another person bringing that up, and it's just to get the conversation going. So, you see that. I mean, you don't necessarily see it because if you're not looking for it, you may not know it, but I do think about that sometimes from a marketing standpoint because that's my background, but,
Yeah. So
um
if you think about it from a cyber perspective,
mhm.
right, left, your perspective doesn't really matter. It's all about what can I get you to do and what can I not get you to do.
Yeah.
If I can get you upset, I can get you to click on something you normally wouldn't click on, get you to go someplace you normally wouldn't go. And if that doesn't work, then I can gain your trust by coming in and being the white knight,
Yeah.
right? And this is happening across our nation. Our adversaries are working overtime in all of these environments to create as much disruption and anger as possible. They're trying to divide America across the board. It is a real threat that we deal with daily. And the number of hits, the number of attacks that come against us are in the millions. We've got to change that course. This nation needs to be defended. And we feel we have a solution to do that. And so if we can create students that are involved with that, that our students pick up that vision, that direction, there are trillions of dollars going right out the wire across this country. Imagine what it would do for the U.S. economy if those trillions of dollars were not stolen. Think of the difference that would make. Think of the difference that would make for education. Think of the difference that would make from keeping businesses from going under. And if you want to attack a nation, take out their economic infrastructure, breaches, things like that. Do that all over the place, right? Identity theft, taking people's money does that. So we need to defend against that. And we're working with, like I said, the CIO for the state of Arizona, for the U of A, to try to develop elements to where our students will be doing monitoring and working with watching threat feeds and things of that sort to help defend the state of Arizona. Because he's got reach within the government, right? So we can produce that area. We're looking at elements with our interns of being able to set it up to where they can go out and maybe provide advice to small businesses, help do security assessments, help build awareness. That produces the ability for students not just to learn the tech, but to pick up on those soft skills that are oh so important. How to talk to people.
Mhm.
Because in reality, it's not about the tech, it's about the people.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and that's like having that opportunity to explore and engage with the community and just bring awareness, I think is also very important. You know, you think about how in the workplace, sometimes you might have like IT training and phishing and not to click on this, not to click on that. But sometimes we're not always aware of those circumstances. And so having, someone who's a little bit more understanding, knows the cyber world can help bring awareness to that. And then I think that's great that you have students and interns who can learn that and then bring it to the community to say, hey, maybe we should look at this a little bit more and what to do to protect their business and so forth.
100%.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate to also win a very large HSI STEM grant, which was a $5 million grant over 5 years, so $1 million a year, to which we put into staffing of student interns, student mentors, student data center specialists, so that they can, so we can enhance the whole experience. So we have mentors that will help guide students through the college elements, through how better studying practices, of helping them, and we have tutors that will help other students through the curriculum. And for picking up these very complex concepts, right? It's about building a community. We have to change IT from being industry silos into a shared community, because that's the enemy is sharing information like crazy. We need to get it to where we can trust and work with one another and get to the point to where we learn the practices of asking questions and working to develop solutions that way as a community instead of just individuals. That's what's
Yeah.
taking
And I
place.
think you guys are doing a great job of building that community. And
Oh, thanks.
I know. Like I said, I think I might be a little biased here as like I really love your guys' program. And I think about if I was to go back to school, like what would I do? And I was like, IG just seems so cool. And I was like, do I need to go to the cyber warfare range and just explore? Like maybe I'll do that. But and then I don't think a lot of people know enough about that sort of thing and what is available here. And I know East Campus is a little bit far for some people, but
Yeah.
it's worth the trip, right? I think it's worth the trip, and I know you think it's worth the trip.
Oh,
Mm,
absolutely. I mean, you've been down to the space. You've seen the
mm,
folks in action. Um, the students develop a passion. They develop purpose. And we have other programs too, like we've been working with a group called iBest, where students that are working to get their GEDs and then come into a cybersphere. Some of those students are absolutely incredible. Once they get into an environment where they get the permission to work on stuff, their hunger, their passion develops, and it's a tremendous thing to see. We have groups working with the Gospel Rescue Mission,
yeah, the
and
center of opportunity. Yeah.
absolutely
Mm-hmm.
helping to change lives there as well, right? The possibilities are just enormous.
Hmm.
And so it comes down to just challenges of resources and space and
Yes.
things of that sort,
And
right?
I think you guys are already outgrown your space. I know you guys got a little bit more space because you did a ribbon cutting ceremony for your Center of Excellence a few years back, but
A few
I
years
almost
back.
think, yeah, I know, a
That
few
was
years
before the
back.
63% growth, right?
I was gonna say that's why I know you guys need more space, especially if you have a wait list of students who are wanting to, enroll in your guys' program.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? We need to be able to make sure that students have the opportunity to get into the classes and take the classes. That's that's kind of a no-brainer right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And as for resources, like what are you guys looking for? I know you said, you are looking for individuals to come in and, teach and mentor and things like that. But as a program and someone who is, in charge of the program essentially, but what are you guys looking for as for resources? Like what is going to help your program grow? What do your students need? Like what are we looking for? It could be a long list, it could be a short list, but what is
Yeah,
one main thing that you think would help benefit your program?
probably the biggest part is space, but
Mhm.
that's a common challenge across the college. And then faculty.
Yeah.
Uh, as students grow, well, the vast majority of our program are adjunct faculty, and so that's why most of our classes are at night. We don't have quite enough full-time faculty to be able to handle the full day, but at night, the vast majority of our program are adjunct faculty. These are professionals in the field. These are people that are doing what they do because of the passion that they have. We have folks from IBM. We have lawyers teaching who developed the curriculum for our law and ethics class. When we started this whole thing, we started off with a summit of business around Tucson, right? And we pulled those businesses together. These are folks that have dealt with the traditional element of education, where students learn theory, but they have a hard time coming out and putting it into practice. So we started with our own culture, and we started off saying, okay, let's get off our academic high horse. Let's leave our egos at the door. And we spoke to business and said, what do you need? What is it that if we did and taught the students that you would then hire those students? And please help us develop that curriculum. And we've got a very strong advisory board, and they came up with a curriculum very quickly. And so we went through and put that together, and we came back with a wonderful response of they looked at us and they said, you did what we asked.
What?
And so in building that community, because if you think about it from a business standpoint, right, you're trying to hire people. If you can't take those students and say, hey, go please set that up, and they can't do it, that's a problem. Because then the businesses have to do the teaching. They don't really want to do that. That's what we're supposed to do. And so by putting this together and making this cooperation between workforce and our higher ed program, hopefully we're developing folks where students can easily on-ramp into businesses. And we've had some great success. We have students that are doing incredible things with some of the businesses around town. I don't want to name names or go into specifics, right? If you come for a tour, I have no problems telling you all that. But they're getting into really good positions as a result, because I think business is starting to learn, hey, we're getting out of Pima what we need. Now, the other advantage of that is when you think about that, now we can start to provide a resource that will bring in more business into Tucson in the area. We are providing that ecosystem that can open up new and greater possibilities. And that's also a part of our goal, right? If we can create that environment to meet those needs, then we could have more tech industry come in and be comfortable with that because they know that they're going to get some incredible individuals.
Yeah. Well, I think we have been able to share with the community so much more about your guys' program and what you have to offer. And I know we can go on about this forever. Like, cyber is such a broad subject, and I think what you guys are doing is really important, not just for our community, but as a nationwide. And so if anyone has any other questions, they can get in contact with you, correct?
Oh, definitely. They can come on down and we'll give a tour. And the really cool thing about the whole environment, right, is the passion.
Mm-hmm.
We have very passionate individuals in what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. That makes all the difference in the world, and that's going to make all the difference in your business and in your industry. They're not in it just to take classes. They're in it to make a difference. And if you come down, and you've been there, you can experience that, talk to the students, see the environment, experience what's taking place. It's not a normal college.
No, it's not. And I encourage anyone who's interested in cybersecurity and what you guys have to offer to, talk to you, talk to Jim Craig, talk to Chris Bonhorst, and
Absolutely
engage and see what it's all about. Because it really is a whole different experience. You can talk about it, but actually going down there, it's mind-blowing. And then you can see it, you can feel it. Like, it's a very different environment, but it's a great environment. Nothing in a bad way at all. I think it's so, so cool. And I honestly am super excited to see all the things that you guys are going to continue to offer. And is there anything else that you would like to say to our community today?
Please come down and check it out. If you have any interest in cyber, if you want to learn about cyber, if you want to have a better idea of what we're actually facing as a nation, please come on down and check it out. And reaching out to all the business throughout Tucson, please come down and take part. We are open and interested in working with business, right? We've got to do this together. It's got to be the community. It's our middle name, right?
Yeah.
But it's got to be the
yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And that will help make a substantial difference.
Yes, I truly believe so. And I want to thank you again for coming down today. I
thank
enjoyed
you.
our conversation so much. I'm still always learning so much more about cyber and everything here at Pima. And so I'm glad that you were able to come down and talk to not only me about it, but just the community as a whole. So
Oh, heck yeah.
I
It's
love it.
fun.
Yes, it is fun. So thank you so much. So next week, you guys, I'll be back. So I'll see you guys next time.